Hello friends, in this lecture we'll discuss various types of limit gauges, or sometimes it is also called as the plain gauges, go and no go type. In that we'll see the various types, their construction, their working, various features, advantages, disadvantages. After that we'll discuss how to design the gauges using the Taylor principle, and then we'll solve few numerical. So let's begin. So gauge. So gauges are used for inspection. Gauges, these are used for inspection, and these gauges makes the inspection process, or we can say the measurement process, quick and fast. It saves time. Also it helps the QA person or the QA engineer to take the decision on accept or reject. So these gauges, they actually don't give any reading, don't give any actual measurement, but they give an idea whether the inspected part is within the limit or not. If the part is not within the limit, then there are two options. The one is rework. If the part is oversized, then we can do the rework, and the second one is reject. If the part is undersized, then we have to reject that part. So that decision we can take on the basis of these gauges. So in industry, one operator operates more than 2 or 3 machines. So he don't have the time to check each and every parameter by the various types of gauges that gives the actual reading. So what he do, he just use these limit gauges to check the part is within the limit or not. That's his job. So if the part is in the go region, then yeah, it's okay, accepted. If the part is in no go type, then the part have to rework, or sometime the part have to reject. It depends upon the hole or shaft. So in these limit gauges, there are again various types of gauges, classification and all that we'll see in the subsequent slides. So the gauges for cylindrical holes and internal screw threads are in the form of let's say plug gauges, or the cylindrical plug, or we can say the plain plug, or screwed with some convenient handles. Sometimes this handle, it may be an integral part of that plug gauges, or sometimes this handle may be a different part which is attached on the gauges. So it depends upon the size of that gauge and the use of that gauge. These two factors define which type of handle should be there. Now this gauging portion of the gauge may be either integral with the handle, or the whole gauge may be machined from one piece of metal. Then such gauges are generally called as the solid gauges. So in solid gauges, what happened? The gauge, let's assume that this one is my gauge, okay, and this gauge, it will have its own handle. Let's say this one is the handle. It is single end, so it is the, let's say it is screw gauge. Okay, so it have its own handle and it is a go type of gauge. Okay, so this is the extended portion of this gauge, or it is the integral part. So both are the same here. Now in second case, let's assume that the diameter of this is very large. So here you have to add one more gauge with the help of some screw and the nuts. So it is, this handle is separate in this case. In this case, the both same material, okay, and here this will be different and this will be different. So these are the two types. So it is called as a renewed one, it is called as the solid one. Now here you can see it is the example of go and no go gauge, go and no go for hole. You can see here the hole is given and the maximum material limit MMC or MML, maximum material condition or maximum material limit, both is same, it is given here. Then this one is the tolerance on the hole. So what will be the go gauge? If the gauge is passing from this condition, that is maximum material limit, then that is the go gauge. And the second one is least metal limit. Okay? So that is for the not go gauge type or no go gauge. So your gauge, it should pass the maximum material limit, but it should not pass this least material limit. It is the plug gauge. So for hole we generally use the plug gauge. Now the go and no go gauge for the shaft. You can see here the shaft, again the maximum metal limit and least metal limit and the tolerance. So in this case again, this go gauge, it is the outside part. Similar way this one is also outside part. So the maximum metal limit, in this case the go gauge should pass. Okay? And for not go gauge, the least material limit means the shaft is not in the tolerance limit and we have to machine that shaft for bringing it in the tolerance limit, and then again we have to check for the go gauge. So that is the no go gauge. Now in some case, so not go gauge, this one, you can see the diameter of this no go gauge is less as compared to the go gauge. That's why this is below the least or equal to the least material limit of the shaft. So if the shaft has a dimension or diameter below this LML, then that gauge will not pass through the shaft, and that will be the indication that we have to work on this shaft, and then again check for the go and no go. So continuously we have to check for go and no go after every machining operation. Now we'll see what are the different types of plane gauges. So there are different type. The first one is according to their type. So the first one is the standard gauges and then the limit gauges. Then according to their use or their purpose, the first one is they are used in the inspection workshop. Then the second one is for inspection purpose, and the third one for reference or master or the control gauges. Then according to form of tested surface. So these plug gauges they generally use for checking the holes, and snap gauges and ring gauges for checking the shaft. So generally these snap gauges they are used for checking the thickness, whereas these ring gauges they generally use to check the diameter. Then the fourth one is according to their design. So some gauges are single and double limit gauges, then single and double ended gauges, and then fixed and adjustable gauges. So these are some gauges type. Now we'll see the first one, that is the plain plug gauges. So these gauges generally used for gauging the holes of the known size. Then these plain plug gauges are manufactured using these plain plug gauges. They are manufactured using the hardened and the stabilized wear resistance steel, because we have to use these gauges continuously, so they should be hard enough to resist the wear. Then the gauging surface of these plug gauges are ground and then it lapped to make it very smooth, so that the finished surface or the hole which we are going to check, so that hole will not get any damage due to the plug gauges. Then the surface of this gauge is hardened to not less than 750 HP. Then the handles for these plug gauges they may be made using the any suitable steel. Again the handles made from a light metal alloys. For which type of plane gauges? A very high diameter or very heavy plane plug gauges, because it will reduce the total weight of that gauge. Otherwise, what happens? The gauge will not be easy to operate, and then it may lead to some error. Now, for smaller plain gauges, the handles it can be made using the suitable non-metallic material. So we can use the plastic also for the handle or other non-metallic material which will be which have good properties. Then that metal we can use. Now this double-ended type plug gauges for sizes up to 63 mm and single-ended type gauges for sizes above 63 mm are recommended as a standards. So double-ended up to 63 mm diameter. But if the hole is getting high, more than 63 mm, then it is recommended to use a single end type of plug gauge. Now, which precaution we have to take for protecting the plug gauges? We have to coat them with suitable anti-corrosive coating to avoid the corrosion. Because in our environment, due to the humidity, that metal or that gauge it may get corroded, and then it may not give the accurate observation. So to avoid that, we have to coat it. Now in plain plug gauges, they are designated by specifying the first is the nominal size. Then we have to write which type of gauge, go, no go, not go, or you can simply say no go here, no go sides. Then which type of class of tolerance, class of the tolerance for that workpiece to be gauged. Then the manufacturer's name and its trademark. And whenever we are marking this not go side, we have to give one red color band for distinguishing it from the go side. So sometimes we can give the red color for the no go and green color for this go in some industry. Now irrespective of whether the gauge is single or double ended. So there whenever any operator he will take the gauge for inspection. By seeing the color he should understood which type of gauge is that, a go or no. For example, if the plain plug gauge is designated according to IS 3484, that is Indian Standard 3484, as go and no go plain plug gauge 40S7 IS 3484, it means that it is a plain plug gauge for gauging a bore having a nominal size of 40 mm with a tolerance of H7 and is as per Indian standard. So this tolerance we can find by using the that formulas of I and then lower limit, higher limit, fundamental deviation and all that. And then that we can add here and we can find a lower limit and upper limit. Once we find the lower limit and upper limit, then we can design the go gauge and then no go gauge. So here two images are shown. So you can see, let's say figure 1 and figure 2. So in the figure 1, it is called as the single end or single ended, and this it is called as the double ended. So in double ended, the go and no go they are manufactured or they are processed machined on a single solid or single material, single bar. Whereas in single ended, two different gauges are there. One is for go and one is for no go. Single and double-ended plug gauges are shown in below figures. The go side is made to the lower limit of the hole. So this go side, it is lower limit of hole. Go lower material limit LML for hole, which is represented by diameter D1. Whereas this not go or no go side, it is made to size equal to the upper limit of the hole. So it is upper limit U L or higher maximum material limit, maximum material limit, it is also mml. This is the third one, In this case, this go and no go, both the gauges are on one side. Now in this case, in double-ended, you can see the go gauge is on the left side, whereas this not go gauge is on the right side. So it is double-ended. But in this case, the go and no go, it is on the same side, so it is called as the progressive type gauges. So it is called as progressive type of gauges. In this type, what happened? The go and no go, these gauges, they are on the same side, and this go and no go, if they are on the same side, it is conveniently used to gauge smaller through holes. During gauging, the go side of the gauge assembled to its full length. As the gauge is moved further, the no go side obstructs the entry of the gauge into the hole. So that is the use of, or we can say that it saves the time of inspection. So you can see here one image is shown. So in the actual image of the industry, you can see the go, it is written over here, and no go. Here the diameter 12 and the H7 tolerance grade and the basic size. You can see here this red color is shown on the no go side. So you can hold it in there and then you can check go first and then on the no go. So that is the actual plain plug gauge. Now we'll see the snap gauges. These are the snap gauges. Snap gauges are used to gauge the shaft to ascertain whether the dimension of the shaft are well within the tolerance limits. So it is generally used for the shaft, but the snap gauges, their main purpose is to check the thickness rather than shaft. Shaft, you can check the diameter of shaft, but for thickness mainly we use the snap gauges. For the shaft we can use the ring gauges also, but the diameter is very high, then it is impossible to manufacture the ring gauges of that size and that builds. So again we can use the snap gauges for that, but for smaller diameter the ring gauges are preferred. These gauges, like plug gauges, are also manufactured using the hardened and stabilized wear resistant steel, and sometimes this steel is chrome plated. So this chrome, again, it increases the wear resistant and the corrosion resistant property of the steel. The gauging surface, it is ground and lapped. Yes, I have read it. Then the shaft of sizes, they ranges from 3 to 100 mm, and they can conveniently gauge using a double-ended snap gauges. Okay, but if the shaft size is more than 100 and up to 250 mm, then it is recommended to use only single-ended progressive type snap gauges. So progressive type means the go and no go will be on the same side. So it will save the material, and it will, we can say that it will reduce the weight of the gauge. So you can see here one snap gauges is shown. One snap gauge is shown in the figure. So you can see this is actually flexible or adjustable type. This size is fixed and it is adjustable. So you can adjust this according to our use. Then we can check whether our part or the component is within the limit or not. So one is go here and one is no go. Again you can see this one is, it is called as the progressive one. Go and no go both are in the same side. On right side you can see the double-ended snap gauges. One side is go here and one side is no go. So sometimes what happens is on no go side this part actually colored by the red. So it is provided with a strip of red color. Here also it is again progressive. Both are the same. So this one is the actual gauge which is used in the industry, and it is the image, or we can say the photograph of this progressive snap gauge. So the use of this snap gauge is to check the shaft, or we can say outside dimension, mainly the thickness. We generally use it for the checking the thickness only. Again here Sometimes here we attach the different types of material which is very hardened or which is very costly and the wear resistant. The hardness it should be 720 HV and higher than that. Vickers hardness. HV means Vickers hardness. Then these are the ring gauges. So the use of these ring gauges is to check OD, for checking the OD. You can see here the dimension is given 25 and the tolerance grade for the shaft H7. Here also 25 H7. But this gauge is a go type of gauge and it will check the upper limit of the shaft and it will check the lower limit of the shaft. So that is the go and no go gauge of ring type. Again, these are used to check the screw thread. So here we have to mention the which type of gauge is this. So here M, we have to check the thread M14. So you have to mention it is M14. So go and no go. You can see here a red color dot is given for the no go. So it is very to just notice and then find out which is it go or no go. That is used for checking the screw or we can screw thread. It is used to check whether the thread manufactured or thread machine is properly or not. Now we'll see the Taylor's principle, which is generally used for designing the go and no go gauge. So in 1905, William Taylor, which is also called as the father of quality assurance, quality control, work study, motion study. So he developed a concept relating to gauging of the components, which has been widely used in the world. Since World War II, the term Taylor's principle has generally been applied to the principle of limit gauging and then extensively used in the design of limit gauges. And nowadays also we are using the Taylor principle for designing the go and no go gauge. And but prior to 1905, a simple go gauges were used. There were no go type of gauges. So the components they were carefully manufactured to fit the gauges. Since not go or no go gauges were not used, these components were without tolerance on their dimension. So the rejection also very high, or we can say the productivity or the production was very less at that time. But the theory the proposed by this William Taylor or W. Taylor, which is extensively used in the design of limit gauges, not only defines the function but also defines the form of most limit gauges. So that's the beauty of this Taylor's principle. Now, what is the Taylor's principle? The statement. So, we state that the go gauge maximum metal condition, that is the lower limit for hole, whereas higher limit for the shaft. That should be checked as per the Taylor's principle. Along with this lower limit of hole and the higher limit of shaft, it should also simultaneously check as many related dimensions such as the roundness, the size, the location, concentricity, whatever the possible dimension. And then non-go gauge, it is designed to check the minimum metal condition. So for higher limit of the hole, that is the minimum, because if you go beyond the higher limit, then that hole will get reject. That part will get reject. Similarly, for shaft, if you go beyond this lower limit of shaft, what happen? Again, the shaft will get reject. So these two are the minimum metal condition. Similarly, for maximum metal condition, LLH, and that is lower limit of hole. So we can go from lower to higher, maximum to minimum, but we cannot go back that from minimum to maximum. That is these two condition, and we have to check for these two condition by using the go and no go gauges. So he stated that we should check only one dimension at a time. So we have to manufacture a separate go gauge for checking the MMC, that is maximum metal or metal condition, and again one no go gauge for checking the minimum metal condition. Thus a separate not go gauge is required for each individual dimension During inspection, the go side of gauge should enter the hole or it just pass over the shaft under the weight of the gauge without using undue force. So it should pass without applying any force. And then the no-go gauge or no-go side, it should not enter into the hole or it should not pass over the shaft. So the basic or the nominal size of the go side of the gauge conforms to the lower limit of hole and the higher limit of shaft, since it is designed to check maximum metal condition. But in contrast, the basic or the nominal size of the not go or no go gauge, it corresponds to the higher limit of hole or the lower limit of shaft, as it is designed to check the minimum metal condition. It can be seen from the figure 1. So it is the figure 1 and this one is the figure 2. The size of the go plug gauge, this one, it corresponds to lower limit of hole. You can see here the lower limit of hole, and no go plug gauge, it is limited to the higher limit of the hole. You can see here higher limit of the hole. Now for the shaft, the go, it is limited to higher limit of the shaft. You can see here go snap gauges represent the higher limit of the shaft, whereas no go gauge, it represents the lower limit of the shaft. So while designing the go and no go gauge, you have to remember these two diagrams. Now for the shaft, you can see the higher limit is for go gauge. Okay, higher limit for the go gauge, whereas the lower limit of shaft, it is for the no go gauge. So for shaft, lower limit, for no go, whereas in case of hole, the lower limit for go. So just it is opposite to each other, vice versa. So remember this point. So it is pertinent to discuss here that since the go plug is used to check more than one dimension of the hole simultaneously, the go plug gauge, it must have a full circular section and it should be or it must be of full length of the hole, so that while checking the diameter, so that the straightness of the hole can also be checked. So all these are related to Taylor's principle. So we'll stop here. In next lecture, we'll try to solve few numericals based on design of gauge. In that case, we have to consider various types of allowances, wear allowance, gauge allowance and all that. Thank you.